see. Hey, what's going on, sports fans? This is Sean with BoxingAndBasketball.com. Back with my co-host, Matthew Rainer. What's going on, Matthew?
Hey, we're at my favorite part of the week, talking basketball with you, and we're both looking fresh because we both got haircuts today.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so listen, this is our first time doing our live stream. We told you we're going to be live streaming for y'all, and we finally making it happen, and we hope y'all enjoy it. All right, there it is. I had to turn it on to make sure it's live streaming. So it's our first live stream. So listen, anybody that's out there, make sure you drop your comments down below. Man, let us know what you think, and it'll show right up here on the screen, and we'll try to answer as we're going along. All right. What's that you got, Matthew?
Man, I got a little Topo Chico mixed with a little margarita mix. Just a little something slight to get through my Thursday night.
All right. All right. Well, we're back once again. Listen, we appreciate all the support we be getting. Your comments, sharing our stuff. Man, it's just been great. I don't know about you, Matthew. I've been having a blast since we started this since New Year's.
Man, I love talking basketball with you. And, I know this is boxing and basketball, but as we've explained over the weeks, we can't really talk about boxing because our position's in the sport. So it's nice that we can talk about a shared mutual interest, the great sport of basketball.
Yep, there you have it. So, fans, we're going to be moving on to switch screens. Our first topic that we're going to be talking with Matthew is Zion Williamson is set to have $16.9 million of his 2026-27 side guaranteed by suiting up for his 41st game of the season tomorrow. He get an additional $8.4 million, another 20%, if he plays in 51 games, and another if he plays 61 games. You know what, Matthew? I've been wondering why I've been seeing more of Zion this season. I'm like, this guy must really be healthy. Like, listen, first of all, let's not take away the credit. I do like give him credit. The man did get in shape. He did lose weight. I think last year he started losing weight, but I think it was more of a rush. So he was still getting like injured. But I think this year he did it the right way. The nutritionists had more time to work with him. And then listen, man, if I don't know, I'm not saying this hasn't happened to nobody else, but I just don't recall you getting paid based on you being in shape and how many games that you play. But I will say he is doing good. Honestly, I was one of those guys that fell into the Zion Williamson hype when he first came out. Like, oh man, they're saying this guy's gonna be better than LeBron. He's the next coming. And it was letdown after letdown after letdown. And then, of course, when he's in New Orleans, you're gonna eat that Mardi Gras food and stuff, right? You're gonna have all the crawfish, the extra sodium in all your food, the beignets and all that. Now, I gotta admit, my wife is from Louisiana, so when I go there, it is some good food. But I tell you what, you'll be overweight and on the way to a heart attack down there. And we did see. Nobody will ever forget Matthew. You remember the commercial with him playing video games, and he was huge. And everybody's like, man, is that Zion, the basketball player? But the injuries, it kept him down. I was shocked, even how big he was able to actually get up there and dunk those balls the way he did.
Barely.
But yeah, barely. But now that he's in shape, he's looking like he's back in raw form. And I really wish Brandon Ingram was still there with McCallum. Oh, God, why I keep having a hard time pronouncing his name?
CJ.
Yeah, CJ McCollum. Am I saying his last name right?
Yeah, you
McCollum?
got it.
Yeah, McCollum. I really wish them three were still there because I really think with the amount of shape that Zion in and with Trae Murphy being there, I really think we would have saw a strong contending team. What are your thoughts on Zion has to stay in shape to get paid?
Well, I got a few different thoughts. I got a few thoughts about what you just said about Brandon Ingram, but let me start with this, man. 17 million. That gets you a lot of gumbo. It gets you a lot of seafood buffets, man. It's crazy for me. The only way we can get this guy to play is if there's bread on the line, man. He ain't barely played the last few years. He's come in terrible shape the last few years to the point where his enormous potential, a lot of people think is already plateaued. You know, they think he's past his best. And this idea, like you mentioned, Sean, that he's getting paid to show up to work. I wish I got paid to show up to work. You know what I mean? That people at my work don't even like to see me. They don't like when I show up. And you're telling me he's getting paid. He's played half the season, and so he's getting guaranteed a $17 million. And we know, like, you know, he needs that money. Those seafood buffets aren't cheap. But here's the deal, Sean. Even though he's been playing and he's good, you know, he's still getting his numbers. He's still getting his 20 points, you know, nearly 60% shooting. But it's not doing anything for the team. The team's 15-41. Right. And if you are really a generational talent, just by virtue of having you on the team, you should be a little better than that. I mean, we talk about generational talents. We talk about some of those LeBron Cleveland teams. They're probably lottery teams without LeBron. You know, we talk about that Westbrook 16-17 OKC team. Probably a lottery team without Westbrook. We talk about some of those Houston Rockets Harden teams. Probably good, but not great without Harden. So if they've had Zion for all these games this year and they're still 15-41, that tells me that at some point they're just going to have to blow it up. As sad as it is, because, you know, when I remember going to New Orleans after he got drafted, they were painting murals of Jordan, LeBron, and Zion together. And now you just couldn't even like fathom something like that. But that's how people felt about him coming out. So it's going to be hard for New Orleans to give up on the project. But despite the fact that he's in shape for once in his career, and despite the fact that he's active, you know, for maybe the second or third time in his career, I think the proof is in the pudding with the record. You gotta throw in the towel. And now what you said about Ingram, I disagree with you there. I think I'm so glad that BI's got a fresh start on a young, scrappy team in Toronto with a co-star in Scotty Barnes that really cares about winning. And the proof's in the pudding. You know, Toronto, 32-23. They're contending in the East. You know, they're primed to make a second or third round push in the playoffs. You know, I don't think they're going to go all the way. And BI's averaging 47% from the field, 37 from three, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. So he's having a great efficient season. He's a killer. He's in tandem with Scotty Barnes and some of the young players they got out there. I really like that fit for him. We've talked about them previously on the show. So I'm glad that BI found himself a new home in Toronto, because I don't think him and Zion were going to win in New Orleans.
Okay. That's an interesting take on it. All right. Well, let's move on here. Man, talking about two players that we've talked about over the last few weeks.
What do you call this guy, Sean?
Anthony Street Clothes Davis. I didn't make that up. They've been saying it. Even my boy Carcina used to call him that all the time. Anthony Street Clothes Davis. Listen, so we talked about the trades that was happening, right? So, but before the trades, we're talking about in Dallas when he was playing with Cooper Flag. Not only was Kyrie Irving out, but Street Clothes Davis was out towards the end, right? Left Cooper Flag to fight off all the tough guys by himself, right? Then he gets traded over to Washington Wizards. Trae Young gets traded over to Washington Wizards. And Matthew, what was that thing we said about the Wizards? It's like the dumping ground. It's like your exit out of the NBA if you get traded to Washington Wizards. And lo and behold, after the trade, I don't even watch the Wizards, right? But I'm looking for like highlights on YouTube, Twitter. I want to see how they're gelling, how they're doing. I'm just not seeing anything, right? But I'm not even focused on watching. I'm watching like the Rockets, Charlotte Hornets, games like that, right? Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, I looked up on Twitter today and boom, they've been traded for a couple weeks and they haven't even played yet. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, Washington Wizards. If you got money to burn, man, just send it me and Matthew's way. Matthew, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Well, man, if you are watching the Washington Wizards looking for highlights, then you are coming to the wrong place, my friend, because you are not finding any highlights watching the Wizards. But here's the deal.
I'm not.
They're developing their young center, Alex Sarr. So, and he's playing, you know, his rookie year, I think, wasn't as good as some people might have wanted it to be. It was looking, you know, some people might have been throwing the word bust around, which is fairly ungenerous. But this year, Alex Sarr is averaging 17 and 8. His shooting splits are decent. And the big thing is he's making the three-pointer. And so, look. Let AD sit out. AD, we don't want him to hurt himself playing meaningless games in Washington. Let Trae sit out. You're going to have at least one more year of them. Assuming you don't trade them, you're going to have at least 1 year before you have to decide something with their contracts and see if you want to flip them for assets. Right now, and I know, look, this is going to change because the NBA is going to talk about tanking. I think that's going to come up where the NBA is going to address tanking. But right now, if you're Washington, your season's over. So play Sarr as much as you can. Let him develop. And then lose some games. Get a good draft pick. Next year, you're kind of set up nice. You got your point guard that can get buckets, that can distribute, and Trae Young. Now, we've talked about his defensive liabilities. I'm not the biggest Trae Young fan, but he's worth taking a chance on. You have your defensive anchor in AD that still, when he's healthy, which is a big if, can still dominate on both sides of the floor. Then you get to pair him with Alex Sarr, which is perfect because what's AD been bitching and moaning about his whole career? That he hates playing center. So if you can develop Alex Sarr and you could get him to where he's playing meaningful 32 to 36 minutes a game at the center position, you could still let AD be your defensive anchor down low on defense. You could let Sarr play the stretch and maybe guard some of the smaller players, maybe the 3s or 4s on defense. Let AD play down low. And I think you can make a nice mixture inside out with your big men, your twin towers, one playing inside, one playing outside with AD and Sarr. Because AD's been complaining his whole career about playing the 5. So you get Sarr out there playing the 5, you get him playing real minutes, you get him up to 20 points a game, you put him out there with AD and Trae, and you get a good draft pick next year. Now, drafts, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you're going to have 1 year to see what you have with AD and see what you have with Trae. So it could be interesting. Why play him now? They're 15 and 41. AD's going to step on the floor and, grab his knee in pain and be hurt and be out for the season, and it's going to be sad anyway. So why do it? Why risk it? Let him heal up. I know the last thing was the hand. Let him heal his hand. Let Trae heal his knee. It looks like Trae's still going to make his debut at some point. I doubt that AD plays this year, but in terms of what the strategy is, I can see a little bit of a vision. It's not perfect, but if you're a Washington fan, you really haven't done anything since Westbrook dragged you to the first round of the playoffs 5 years ago. Then it's been like a decade since you've been an actual contender with John Wall and Bradley Beal. So at least there's something interesting going on. Now it's probably going to end in sadness with AD clutching his knee at the beginning of the season opener next year. But right now, I think there is a little bit of a strategy, and you lose some games, you get a good pick, you keep developing Alex Sarr. I think this team could be a sleeper next year, but I would say maybe a 30% chance they're a sleeper, 70% chance their season ends in sadness with AD clutching his knee.
Hey, I can see that happening. Listen, Anthony Davis, even though we be teasing you and messing with you, man, we definitely don't want you to be hurt, man. We wish you the best because honestly, when you are healthy and you're doing good, you're actually a terror to deal with on the court, man. We just got to get you there. So let's move on. Go ahead.
Just one thought on that. I agree with you completely. I'm a huge fan of a big man that can score and be your defensive anchor and play dominant defense. And when he's not injured, AD can definitely do that.
All right. So we're moving on over to Cade Cunningham. Listen, he got Detroit on fire so far this season. Cade Cunningham says he is the best American player in the NBA and is eyeing the 2028 Olympics. I want to be on an Olympic team coming up. I think I'm the best American player. Now, I got a couple of thoughts on this, right? Cade Cunningham is actually doing really good. And listen, I don't know if this was a parody or something, but I saw something today that, I want to say he got a $241 million extension, I believe. I don't know how true it is. They say he was in Sonic, checked his bank account, and he couldn't believe all the money that was there. I don't even know that you're even allowed to put that much money in your bank account like that. maybe it's in certain trusts and certain funds, but I don't even think. I mean, what banks are insured up to what? Is it 250, 450,000? Somewhere in that range. That's even FDIC insured. But we know all money like that when they get it, we know it's not liquid, right? But for him to say, listen, and you might make the Olympic team. Listen, you got 2 more years to really get your team going, make a couple deep runs in the playoffs, even maybe get to the final, especially definitely if you do that, you're probably going to get a spot on the Olympic team. But to say that you're the best American player, let's look at your stats here. Let me read these stats off to you. So far, you're averaging 25.3 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, 9.6 assists, which is near the top of the league. Your assist game is crazy. 1.5 steals, almost 1 block a game, 3.7 in turnovers. I mean, you're a point guard, right? We all know point guards are going to have the most turnovers in the game anyway, just because the amount of time they hold the ball and dribble, right? And you're averaging about 35 minutes a game. But
and you're on the best team in the East.
Yeah, and you're on the best team in the East. But on top of that, if we're looking at the stats, individual categories, right? There's a bunch of guys that can beat you. Okay, you got Luka scoring more than you. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
not American.
Anthony Edwards.
Okay, that's my pick for American. Yeah.
Jaylen Brown.
Nah, not better than Cade, I don't think.
I'm talking about stats. Like, these are people whose stats are a little bit better than his.
Keep reading them. Keep reading them.
Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
Spider. Okay. Tyrese Maxey. Nikolai Jokic. Nikola.
You don't want to get called out by that guy.
Yeah. Nikola Jokic. Kawhi Leonard. And man, let me tell you something. Kawhi is on like phenomenal tear right now. Like, he reminds me of like the Spurs Kawhi, man. Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson. And just a couple more. That's for scoring. When it comes to more rebounds per game than Cade, Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, Donovan Clingan, Rudy Gobert, Bam Adebayo.
Yeah,
are ahead
point
of
guard.
Him. Yeah. More assists. Just Jokic.
Just
Jokic. So he's right behind there. But I am going to put you in the top 5, dude, Cade, right now. You are doing good. What are your thoughts on that, Matthew?
I've got a few thoughts. I mean, first, what I would say is it's good to be confident. People like confident. People don't like cocky. But one thing I would say to give them a pass here for folks to consider, he was talking to GQ. So these are not sports people. So,
right.
you're talking to the dork at GQ or somebody that like doesn't know sports. You're gonna be talking pretty big because they don't know the game. Like if you were talking to somebody at ESPN or a basketball publication. So this GQ is a magazine that I guess at its peak everybody read. It's a lifestyle magazine, so he's talking more generally to people that don't follow basketball. So he's kind of trying to make a statement. Hey, you don't watch basketball, but you should watch me because I'm the best. Now, he's close. I mean, he's on the number 1 team in the East, and he's the reason they're the number 1 team in the East. That's got to count for something. I mean, did you have the Pistons coming out of the East at the beginning of the year?
Not at all.
Not at all. Nobody did. So that's got to count for something. So some of the players you mentioned, the ones that are American, and sometimes maybe a Canadian will sneak in, but I think I know which ones were American of the ones you read. Jaylen Brown, Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson. I would put Cade above Brunson because I think he gives you about the same on offense and he gives you better defense. Cade is one of the better perimeter defenders in the league. He's putting up almost 2.5 stocks a game. And just the eyeball test, I watched the Kings because Westbrook's on that team, so it's not a good team. But the games they played, the Pistons, the guards all had the Kings in hell, and they were forcing turnover after turnover. So I'll put him over Brunson with his defense. I think I'll put him around the same as Jaylen Brown. I'm not going to say he's better. I'm not going to say he's worse. Jaylen Brown's a finals MVP. I think Cade can do a lot of things on the floor. I think he might be a better playmaker than Jalen. Jalen might be a better pure scorer, but I'll put them about in the same range. Donovan Mitchell, I would put Cade way over Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
That's just me. But the one that I'm sorry, Cade, I just can't do it. I can't put him over Ant-Man.
Oh,
Nuh-uh.
yeah. You are a
I,
big fan of Ant-Man.
I'm not putting him over Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man, along with Wemby, is the future face of the league. And if you just give them the eyeball test, like watching who's a better hooper, maybe, the stats dorks will be mad at me and say, like, oh, with advanced analytics, Cade is this much more useful. But if you just watching two cats hooping, there's not like really anyone in the league you might take over Ant-Man right now. And just having watched Ant-Man hoop enough, I think it's obvious to me that he's the best young up-and-coming American player. But you'll see in the quote, Cade said, I think I'm the best American player. So, he added the little caveat. He said, I think.
Yeah,
He didn't
it's
say I
safe.
know. So, and he was talking to GQ. So I like the confidence.
Oh,
But
look at this. We got a comment down there.
okay.
Jetta FP said SGA. Tell them your thoughts on SGA, Matthew.
FTA. But also, he doesn't qualify for this
Yeah, he's
conversation
Canadian.
because he's Canadian. But obviously, he's better than Cade Cunningham. But I would only put Ant-Man above Cade Cunningham for sure. I'd probably put Jaylen Brown maybe tied for number 2 with him. And I still rank KD up there, but he's probably behind the top guys, but he's definitely still in the top 5 of American players.
All right. Got you. So moving on to the next subject. Shaquille O'Neal believes LeBron James doesn't want to leave any opening for anyone to even think about chasing his scoring record. Knowing him and his team since high school, I think he would definitely set up a farewell tour. So I'm not really worried about that. But, a guy that has accomplished everything, number 1 scorer, championships, all-star appearances, I think he wants to put his record so far that nobody will ever reach it. So knowing him, he's probably going to play another 2 years. I can see that. A lot of people have talked about LeBron James has only stuck around because he's just trying to stat his pads and all that. I don't know how true that is, but Shaq might be onto something. I don't know if that's more of the competitive nature, if that's how he is, but I could see him. And listen, this man was it 17 or rated 18 when he started? 17, 18 out of high school?
He was 18 out of high school.
18. And wisely, the last, was it 4 years or 5 years that he pays, I think, a nutritionist and built-in chef like over $1 million a year. $1 million to just keep him healthy and playing. And look, 41 years old now, still playing in the league. You're also a great player, so you're definitely going to just keep adding on to your stats. And it's funny, I was just talking to Carcine the other day, and we're talking about how no matter what LeBron does, he's always going to get the status of, hey, he's the oldest player to ever do this. Hey, he's the oldest player to ever do that. Hey, he's 41. I mean, nobody's that old still playing that's putting up numbers like him. But I think Shaq is right. I think he is another 2 years. I think maybe next year, barring he doesn't have a serious injury. You get something like a Achilles, ACL, or something like that, he's done. There's no way he's going to spend another year rehabbing that just to get back and play for what? What are your thoughts on that, Matthew?
Everything we know about LeBron suggests that he's going to have a farewell tour. It's not even a question in my mind. The idea that LeBron wouldn't give himself a farewell tour. Anybody that's followed LeBron's career, his wonderful, his amazing, his history-making career, knows that over the years, he's developed a little bit of an ego. And you could say that's a good thing. That's natural. He's the second best player in league history. Some people would say the first best player, but I think the consensus that's forming is the second best player,
right,
with a vocal minority saying number 1. But everything we know about his career, from the decision to Le GM shipping his friends out of town, everything we know about him says he likes carefully choreographed events. He likes control of his teams. I would rate it as a 0% chance that he doesn't have a farewell tour. I remember when he said he wasn't sure if he would do it or not. If you looked at the comments and that, everybody pretty much agreed. Come on. Of course he's going to do it.
Right.
He left Cleveland on national TV on ESPN, like, and he was at the Boys and Girls Club in Cleveland and he announced it. Like, I mean, you know, obviously he was 28 then, or 26, 28, and he's 41 now, so he's matured. But part of it's branding.
Okay. Bless you.
Thank you. You know, he cares a lot about his brand. He's still going to want to sell T-shirts and shoes after he's retired.
Yeah.
So he's going to want it to be an event every time he comes to an arena for the final time. And the idea that he's not going to have a farewell tour is crazy. But I do agree with Shaq that he's probably going to want to open up his records in a way that nobody's going to touch them. Because if, you know, KD plays a few more years, you know, I don't think he could get there. But KD, Harden, and Westbrook all have numbers that would suggest if they played 3 or 4 years, they could probably not get to a scoring record. But there's some specific ones by player where Harden, Westbrook, and KD, and maybe Curry's lost a lot of time to injury. But depending on how many more years they played, if LeBron retired at the end of this year, they could potentially catch him on some of his records. And I do believe what Shaq says, that he doesn't want any of his records touched. I suspect, because his value to the team, I think it's a slow burn, but it does slowly go down. And I don't think he wants his records being touched, but I also don't think he wants people to remember him being a bench warmer, like having like a Paul Pierce year with the Clippers. So I think those are two competing interests, and he's going to find a happy medium. And I think he'll still be a starter next year. He'll still demand to be the second best player on the team. But probably he's more likely the third best player on the team, but he'll play the second biggest role. I think next year will likely be his final year. I think he'll announce it beforehand, and I think he will most certainly, bet on it now, will have a farewell tour.
All right. Do you see him? All right. If he finishes next year with the Lakers, if he was to do a second year, 1 more year, do you think he would end it being more of a veteran playing so many certain minutes back in Cleveland, being with James Harden and Spider? Do you see him going back to Cleveland for his last hoorah?
It'd be nice. I mean, he's done a lot for the city. He's from the city. He's from Akron, but, you know, he's so closely associated with Cleveland. And it was such a huge story for him to come back for that second stint and win the championship. I used to think that was inevitable, but I think he's been in LA so long. I think he lives in LA in the offseason. I think he's just comfortable there. I doubt it, but I would say maybe there's an 80% chance he's in LA for his final season, 20% chance he's in Cleveland, 0% chance he's anywhere else. It would be big, I think. It would say something for him to go to Cleveland, but I have a hard time seeing it right now. But that would be the most interesting final chapter of his career to me.
Right, absolutely. All right, Matthew, moving on. Cooper Flag's jersey from his first regular season game sold for $1 million, which is a new record. Before that, it was your boy out of San Antonio, Wembanyama, $762,000. Now, when you look at both rookie years, right? I put up some stats here. How they compare? Scoring, very close. Wemby in his rookie year was 21.4. Flag, 20.4 points per game. Rebounding, big edge to Wemby, 10.6. To Cooper, 6.6. Playmaking, Flag slightly more assists, but very slightly, 4.1 to 3.9. Roughly, they both doing 4. Defense, Wemby destroys him in rim protection with 3.6 blocks per game and also good steals. Flag does give solid all-around defense for a wing, but nowhere near the block volume. And when it comes to efficiency, Flag is a touch more efficient from the field at 48.2 versus Wemby 46.5. while Wemby does do it with a higher usage and more threes and blocks. Um, and who knows? Wemby's numbers probably would have been a little bit more better. Uh, was that last year? Was it? Yeah, it was his rookie year, right? Where he ended up getting something about the blood clot or something in his arm. Or was that the second year?
That was the second year. That was last year.
Second year. Okay. Yeah, so that was a rookie year. But when you look at those numbers, I say that to say this. If you compare the numbers, it had nothing to do with the numbers, right? Cooper Flag is getting partially the praise, I think, number one, because he's a white player. And number two, he replaced Luka. And it's just a phenomenon that I think they haven't seen since Luka being in Dallas. And I think that's why. And listen, he was a hype pick, man. It was out of Duke, right? Was it out of Duke? He came out of,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Coming out of Duke, man. So the hype was already built around him. And I think, I had this stuff. Hold on. Let me pull this up also. And also his NIL deal. Man, his NIL deal, he was making bank. I love that they did NIL for college players now. I wish a lot of the other college players got this before. But look at this. His total NIL situation was massive. Duke added up to roughly, that 1 year, Duke added up to roughly $28 million, headlined by New Balance and Fanatics. It said his New Balance shoe deal was $13 million. Fanatics dealing with merchant collectibles deal was $15 million. Other NIL partners during that time was Gatorade, the NIL store, Court Furniture, AT&T, Chime, and others, contributing for NIL valuation of 4.3 to 4.8 million, with that being added to it. Dude, 28 million before you get into the league.
Good Lord. Sign a car note for me, Cooper.
Yep. So do you think a lot of that stuff plays into why maybe his jersey is selling more and the popularity is selling more than Wemby? What do you think it is?
I think it could just be inflation. I mean, I think we know prices are going up on everything. Every year, more people get into collecting, sports collecting. It seems like it gets more and more popular.
Because I'm into it now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are into it now. It could just be inflation, because if you're talking about the value of these two players and their chances of being like a great historic player, I think Wemby's scale is so much higher. Cooper Flag was an extremely hyped prospect, but Wemby will go down as one of the most hyped prospects of all time. The Spurs GM literally yelled in the lottery room when he realized they got the first pick for Wembanyama. Yeah. Everybody wanted a piece of Wembanyama. And Flag was your average generational prospect, but like Wemby was like your LeBron, Zion. Wow, like the sun is shining on our franchise if we can get this guy. And if you look at the numbers, Wemby's numbers are better, rookie for rookie. Wemby in his third year has the Spurs, has the second best team in the West. I just think it's so obvious that barring major injury, but even if you have major injury, Wemby was such a hyped international prospect that his stuff should be more valuable because of like the impact and the relevance he's had in this time, that I think even if something bad happened injury wise and he didn't have the kind of career he wanted, I think his stuff, his products, his cards, his merchandise, I still think it would go up in value. But if he has the great career that it looks like he's going to have, dragging the San Antonio Spurs, who were my San Antonio Spurs, who were in the gutter the last 5 or 6 years, taking them to the second seed in the West with a 3-1 regular season record over the defending champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder. His impact is obvious as it's been the minute he stepped on the floor and was a contender for Defensive Player of the Year, his first minute of his first game of his rookie year. So I don't know what it is, but my theory would be it has nothing to do with the value of these players, and it has more to do with the expanding market and the inflation that we all suffer under every day.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. But regardless, man, both of these guys are doing great. I love the buzz that's around it. Man, there was like a little glitch there, especially right around the COVID period. that it felt like basketball was dying out a little bit. And I know COVID had a little bit to do with that, but it just seemed like since Wemby came in the league, it's like the fire came back to the league.
There's a couple guys, man.
Well, them Ant-Man,
Man.
yeah, some of the Luca, like it was definitely a couple of guys, man, and I'm excited about all the new guys like Derek Queen. We like Trey Murphy, he's doing good. Stephon Castle. There's a lot of rookies, man. Cooper Flag,
Con Knipple.
Speaking of Con Knipple, we're about to get to that about his teammate. As we're moving on to the next one, Lamelo Ball was involved in a car accident in Uptown Charlotte, per Joe Bronco WSOC9. Witnesses say Ball exited a Hummer and got into a Lamborghini. Medic reported that one person suffered non-life-threatening injuries.
Play that video. Play that video first before we talk about this, because I think to talk about it, you got to see the video.
Look at that hit. Boom.
100% his fault. I mean, look at that.
Hit play again.
He swerved in this guy's lane. What was going on?
Yep.
What?
And let me do this for you. I got another video that I want to find. Hold on.
When you see your star player getting in this kind of accident, when you're contending, like, you know, you've won all them games in a row, you're back in contention in the Eastern Conference, your team is gelling. First of all, I mean, what's he even doing driving? I mean, he's got like a $200 million contract. He's got to hire a driver. I mean, that's at most. I don't know the market for that. I've never had to hire a driver, but I'm sure he can afford it. So what's he even doing driving? But two, that looks bad. Like, that was clearly his fault. Like, the best interpretation is that he was texting or something, which would still be bad. But to be that far on the other side of the road, right? Oh, you got another video.
Let me share this. So this is a 34-second clip that after the accident, people compile like this video clip of Lamelo always speeding, like just always. So let's check out this 34-second clip. This is in his gold Ferrari. He always gets off and just speeds off and take off fast. Him coming out with his purple, I forgot which one that one is. Look at that. Blow right through the red light. Here he goes again in his red car, his Lamborghini, blowing through red lights, clearly red. Boom. Just keeps going anyway.
Damn.
Lamelo just be driving, he said. Here he comes in his purple, I think that's the Bentley. No, I forgot the name of that one.
Pretty dangerous.
And there it is. It starts over again.
It doesn't look like a textbook example of responsibility behind the wheel.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, it's just crazy. So, I mean, what did you say your thoughts on this overall, man?
Man, we talked about it like 3 shows ago about how 25 years ago, reckless driving claimed the actual life of a Hornets player, and we were talking about like the impact that must have had on the city, his teammates. And so to have like
Charlotte, so that guy's from Charlotte too, wasn't he?
Bobby Fields from Charlotte, yeah,
Bobby Fields from Charlotte.
And so to have an example, a recent-ish example of a player from your team whose jersey is retired in the rafters, that died in this kind of way, and to just be leaving the arena, running red lights, illegally passing people, swerving in past the median. I mean, it's just a really bad look. Just on a life basis, it's a really bad look. But also, as a member of a team that all of a sudden has chemistry, is surging, is playing together, now to put the locker room through this, and I see they lost tonight. Lamelo had a pretty bad game. They lost to the Rockets. So
Lamelo, even after the accident, played tonight?
He played tonight. He shot
right after the accident. This is crazy.
He shot 5 for 14, 1 of 6 for 3 with 11 points. But it's just there's two things. Shook up. He's still a little shook up, maybe, but there's 2 things here, Sean. Yeah. First, it's bad for the roads in Charlotte. Like, you're putting people on the
Yeah.
roads in Charlotte in danger. And
Yep.
2, it's bad for the locker room in Charlotte because now your teammate's going to get asked about this. Now your mind's on, filling out police reports and stuff because
Right.
that video clearly shows that it was his fault. So
Yep.
bad for your average driver, bad for your locker room.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, he's still young. I really hope he matures a little bit better, especially when it comes to, driving. Like, I tell my daughter all the time, you're not just driving for yourself, you're driving for other people out down the roads. It's not just about you, it's other people. And nothing will haunt you more than you hit somebody and kill them, or you hit somebody and kill somebody's baby or something like that in a car, or somebody's grandmom that's in the passenger seat. So, I mean, these guys got to mature and grow up, man. If you want to do all that racing, go to a racetrack, sign up for NASCAR. But when you're out here, just because you got these fast, expensive cars, don't put everybody else's life in danger just because you want to show off, with your expensive, fast car. That's what I got to say.
Exactly. And one more thing you might tell your daughter about driving is that if you see Lamelo's gold Ferrari, hit the exit. You don't want to be in the road with him.
Right. Get off fast. Exactly. All right, so to all our sports fans out there, that's what we have for you tonight. Man, appreciate y'all checking out the live stream. See, we had 3 or 4 guests at a time. We'll definitely start putting out more so y'all know ahead of time when we're going to be doing a live stream. If everything goes according to plan, me and Matthew are usually on Monday and Thursdays around 8 p.m. Central Time. Mostly it's going to be Mondays and Thursdays. So we're going to look to stream again this upcoming Monday coming up. We hope you come and check us out. And listen, I haven't got the link in there. If y'all ever want to join and be a third participant to ask questions, by all means, I'll let you get on here and debate Matthew.
Hey, you don't want to debate me. It'll be a bloodbath.
Hey, look, and we invite, what's that guy that said something to you? Iron my shirt?
Iron my shirt.
Iron my shirt. We're giving you a chance to come on here live and debate Matthew.
Bloodbath.
All right. So, Matthew, what do you want to say in closing to all the fans? Listen, we want you to make sure you like, subscribe, make sure you join our live stream, and push it out as much as possible.
I want to say that this is the best part of my week. I always enjoy playing basketball. And I always enjoy talking basketball. And if I didn't say it on Tuesday, happy belated President's Day.
Yeah, there you have it. All right. Until next time, we will see y'all again on Monday coming up.